It is a pleasure to be joined by Sebastian, the CEO of bwise Media. Hi, and thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Right. Firstly, could you tell us a bit more about bwise Media? How did the company start? How far it has come, and what offering have you got?
Cool. So bwise Media was founded at the end of 2018. It's a Swiss company with a Swiss headquarter, but we are now quite spread globally. We're a digital first, but in general, a marketing and media company for iGaming space. And our biggest focus is on working with publishers, working with all kinds of channels, and manage partnerships with iGaming clients. I would say the biggest focus of the company in the past years was always working on the biggest sports publishers in the world. We have a very strong portfolio with some of the biggest live score partners. Some of them even exclusively. We're exclusive with a 365 Scores or bsoccer, which are two of the biggest and most popular live score applications. Very loved by millions of fans all over the world. And over the years, we've expanded quite a bit, from working with sports publishers to working with more as well performance marketing channels, whether that's PPC, paid social, programmatic advertising, influencer marketing, to offer more opportunities for all of the gaming clients they're working with, but also to find more ways of sort of like say sucking in new clients, because ultimately we want to work with the main sports publishers as best as possible, which means to have the best gaming clients, and it's sometimes much easier to build these relationships with gaming clients if you work purely performance based, and then once you've built the trust, then they're more inclined to do bigger marketing, media, branding campaigns with you. So that really helps. And we've also expanded into our own affiliation business in the last year or so, and grown there quite nicely, especially in Latin America and Brazil.
Right, that's fantastic. You've already achieved a lot in just a few years' time. Great. So you just mentioned LATAM, and I know this is a key market for you. For how long have you focused on this emerging market? And in your personal opinion, why is that such an important market for sports media and for sports betting, naturally?
So I would say Brazil and Latin America's Spanish-speaking markets has been a focus for us since the very inception of the company. On the one hand side, we've always seen it as one of the strongest and fastest developing emerging markets in the iGaming space. And secondly, it was sort of given to us in the sense of I mentioned previously 365 Scores and bsoccer as two of the biggest sports applications that we're working with. And they have a very strong user base, particularly in Brazil and Latin America. They're two of the most popular apps there, which meant, of course, working with them meant selling the app and finding the best iGaming partnerships for them in that particular region, which then naturally led to us having a big focus on that region and finding the best partnerships for them and maximizing monetization for their sports apps, which meant we ultimately build a team in Montevideo. So we have a team in Uruguay that is looking after the Spanish-speaking market. We have a team in Rio de Janeiro that is looking after the Brazilian market. And through these, let's say, local operations and local relationships, we've been, I think, in a very good position to capitalize on these growing markets. And yes, I think if you look into the global space, besides the gold rush in the US, Brazil is the second most important and most interesting market. And yeah, it's just the way sports, the sports craziness, the love for sports is built into all of the people living there. When I visited Brazil last year, it was just insane to see, live the love and passion for the football game. I was in the Maracanã Stadium and seeing an amazing match, and it's really it's for everyone, which was also amazing to see that everyone in the family is very much involved, and you go to the beach and you see everybody just playing sports. So it's compared to here in Europe, and particularly Central Europe, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also this passion for sports then translates to sports betting and gaming as a form of entertainment. And I think this is why it's so successful. I think this is why it's spreading so much. Whether it's sports betting on their favorite clubs, and they're super crazy about their loyalty about the clubs, or whether it's forms of fun entertainment. You look at Aviator as a crash game having crazy impact on the casino market, and yeah, it's just perfectly suited for this kind of very, very passionate market.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense that the whole industry is so excited about Brazil. I would even compare it. They're as excited as they were when PASPA was overturned in the US. So, and it's good you guys already have the competitive advantage. You've been there for a while now. Are there any other Latin American countries that compare to Brazil, in your opinion? Or there's
The
no
right answer.
comparison really?
No, the right answer would be no. Definitely, there's no Latin American country that can compare to Brazil, neither in size, nor in scalability, nor in demand. There are obviously markets that are, in terms of, it depends what you look at it. Always best answer is it depends. So there are markets where you would say, okay, there's a stronger economy, potential player values for sports betting and casino providers are higher. If you look at Uruguay, for example, now you have with Supermatch one big operator, but it might be further opened up. Uruguay arguably has one of the strongest economies in Latin America. Most European country, you say, in Latin America. And of course, if that market opens up more, even though it's significantly smaller, play values would be very, very high. You have Mexico as a potentially very strong market, but it's a very difficult market to crack. You have such a strong dominance by Caliente for the past years. They sponsor everything and have all kinds of placements, whether it's digital or offline, that are worth taking, have done an amazing job in the past years. And it's going to be very difficult to challenge it. I know of one brand that is going to launch there that I think is going to be able to at least challenge them on a good level, where most others have struggled so far. Colombia is a great market because it's licensed, but still, as far as I'm kind of informed, it's still payments is a big issue. Even though it's sports betting is legalized, banks aren't so fond of the market and aren't making payments very easy, which has a huge impact on player values and payment options. Peru and Chile, I think, are very interesting countries, especially Chile, also with a very, very strong casino market. But every market has its opportunity, and what we see is that if there is a brand very successful in Brazil, that they tend to venture into other Latin American markets, even though it's completely different. And then there are very, very strong Latin American markets that say, okay, we have a very, very strong base, and now we try to catch the bigger fish and also launch in Brazil.
Right. Well, that was very interesting insight. Thank you for that. And beyond LATAM, what other markets is bwise Media working in?
In general, we work globally. I would say really on a global scale, even though our focus has always been on emerging markets, where you see growth where you see a very fast-paced landscape on regulations, where you see very strong investments being made by companies because of basically new markets opening up, because of brands wanting to get in first, or rather first and then want to gain market share. Emerging markets provide those opportunities. So it's basically all emerging markets is everything in Brazil, Latin America, it's African markets, Asian markets. There are very few markets, I would say, in Europe where the landscape is very attractive for us and with our business model. Plus, there are, from an advertising perspective, there are so many restrictions in the main European markets now that it makes advertising very difficult. It makes it, market is very saturated, and I would say we as a company, we see ourselves as a problem solver. So we're a problem solver for our clients. We're a problem solver for publishing other channel partners. And the biggest problem is always understanding the markets, understanding the gaming space. So if I work in Brazil with a big publisher, that means I understand the gaming side of things very well. I have a big portfolio of, a big number of clients that can work through us on this publisher. So I'm helping them solve the problem on working with gaming clients and solving KYC and solving compliance and solving payment, and of course understanding how to best work with them. And the same way, if I have a European betting brand that is venturing into Brazil, we're solving their problems on understanding the market, optimizing the product for local promotions. We're helping them with product consultation, with promotions, but mainly to understand how does the market work from a marketing perspective. And then we create market entry strategies and explain, so look, this is a brand ambassador opportunity, this is a sponsorship opportunities. And only if you have local operations and key markets, you actually understand that. And we've seen a lot of brands that, for example, have recently entered into Brazil that have been quite burned by overpaying significantly for certain sponsorships or TV deals and LED deals, simply because they don't have the local knowledge, and they'll go there and they're being fed European prices, whereas a local operator would get like half the price. And we're there to avoid that.
Right, that sounds great. And I know you guys focus on live score apps. Could you explain a bit more about that?
It comes back to, let's say, the inception of the company. And when we started working, we're fortunate to build really big partnerships with some of the biggest live score applications in the world. These have been the core of the business for the past 4 years and remain the core of our business for the next years and decades. It also comes down to simply what we enjoy working with. I personally love sports application. I've been a huge obsessive user of live score applications for the past 10 years, and just enjoy working with them. And I think from a marketing and media perspective, they are the perfect channel. They're the perfect opportunity to show your brand. And we look at them as a premium organic channel with high value, with a high value and high intent target audience. If you are a user and using a live score application like 365 Scores, BSoccer, a SofaScore, livescore.com, and so on, then you love live data, you love statistics. Most of them show betting odds in their app, sponsored betting odds, and this helps make informed decision. And it basically, the focus is never on running bonuses or promotions. The focus is always on saying, okay, how can I be as close as possible to the user in a sort of live betting environment? So promoting a brand on LiveScore app means you target the best audience. You target them ideally through odds promotions, which means you're actually promoting the product that you have rather than promoting a bonus or free spins or any kind of incentives by saying, okay, look, this is the live score and this live score and this is the live odds, and you have different betting markets, and you get the user as close as possible to the actual product, to the actual betting product. And this is a great driver for acquisition. Plus, it's also the ultimate retention, because the users that are using these LiveScore applications, they use them every day, and they use them significantly more than they would use a betting app. So by continuously being present in these apps and by sponsoring odds integrations and such kind, serves as a perfect retention tool, because they see for whatever matches they're following, they see the sponsored odds of your brand all of the time. So it's just a perfect channel for me to advertise as a brand, and it's been incredibly successful for us, for the publishers, for our clients in the past 10 years, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
That's great. And I can see why it's successful, because I like what you said, that it's not about flooding people with bonus codes all the time. And I think
yes,
people
it's not,
appreciate that. Yeah.
absolutely.
I think people appreciate that, especially in Europe, they will. Right. My final question, what are you looking forward to the most for the rest of the year?
I think for us as a company, we're quite in a transformation period. We've grown quite a lot in the last 4 years, much more than I ever imagined. We surpassed the 60, 70 people's mark recently, and now we have so much great talent in the team. And there were so many new opportunities that have opened up in the last 6 months or so, is that we're looking at, okay, how can we, it's not about growing more, it's about how can we make everything that we have better. We've identified a number of key challenges that we have in our business, in working with our clients and working with publishers. And rather than doing more, we say, okay, how can we fixate on what we're doing currently, and try to make everything better before we continue to grow. And that also means we've been lucky. We onboarded a great technology and development team. So now we are focused a lot on building our own IT department, on building our own ad tech. So we want to transition a little bit more from purely direct sales and marketing to also being a reputable ad tech company in the future. So I hope, what I'm looking most forward to in the next, I'd say 6 to 9 months, would be our transition and our growth on the technology side, and being able to look at every campaign and every activity that we have with publishers and clients and say, look, through our own technology, through our solutions, we're not only able to facilitate the best partnerships, but we're also making every single partnership better and more successful. And I think this would provide much greater value for us as a company, and would put us in a better position to then push for more growth in the coming years.
Well, that sounds very exciting, and I'm sure you have a great rest of 2023. And I certainly look forward to catching up with you soon to see what you guys have been up to in a few months' time. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much
today. Thank you.
Thank you.